No, not that guy. No. There you go. The other dark-haired, bearded dude right in front of that one, JD Vance. I got to tell you something, man. That ain't right. It's like for vice president, Donald selected the actor who would be hired to play Don Jr. in the Lifetime movie. He's the default avatar in the video game, and then Donald Trump Sr. adjusted the pretty eyes and charisma sliders up a little bit. 66 intelligence.
Jon Stewart grabbed a big old baseball bat of truth and just went to town on JD Vance like he was a piñata stuffed full of bad ideas and broken promises. First, Jon takes a look at JD Vance's greatest party trick, the flip-flop. 1 minute, Vance is on TV crying about how Trump is America's Hitler and an idiot. And the next minute, he's clinging to Trump's leg like a kid who lost his mom at Walmart. Stewart rolls the old footage where Vance is practically foaming at the mouth, calling Trump noxious. Fast forward a little, and bam, there he is, arm in arm with Trump, grinning like they just robbed a lemonade stand. It's like JD had a MAGA Men in Black moment where someone zapped his memory clean.
I never liked him.
The simple fact is, he's the best president of my lifetime.
But Stewart isn't done yet. He yanks the receipts. Remember when Vance tried to act like some blue-collar hero? Talking about how he isn't one of those elites from San Francisco? Yeah, about that. Jon reminds everybody that Vance spent years cuddled up with Peter Thiel, a tech billionaire, right there in, you guessed it, San Francisco. You can't make this stuff up. Jon pretty much paints Vance as the kid who spent all year calling the teacher lame, but still asked her for a recommendation letter. If you like watching people change their minds faster than a kid picking ice cream, hit like, smash subscribe, and tell me your best JD Vance joke in the comments.
We're effectively run in this country via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, by a bunch of childless cat ladies.
And just when you think it can't get more embarrassing, Jon drops the real hammer, Vance's moral flexibility. That's just a fancy way of saying JD will sell out faster than a new iPhone at a retirement home. Stewart spells it out. This ain't about some change of heart. It's about sniffing where the power is and crawling there on hands and knees. Vance isn't a politician. He's a career opportunist with a MAGA baseball cap duct taped to his head.
When a house is on fire, we don't ask about the homeowner's race or religion. No. We just try to do the best we can to save them. And if the place happens to belong to a childless cat lady,
Also, Stewart has some laughs at Vance's expense over his childless cat ladies nonsense. Yeah, Vance decided it would be a good idea to tell America that women without kids were ruining the world. Bold move, dude. Cue Oprah swooping in to defend all the American kittizens out there, turning JD's dumb comment into a rallying cry for every lady who loves her cat more than politicians. Stewart just sits back and roasts him, even dragging Trump into the mess, comparing him to some washed-up internet troll called Cat Herd. And honestly, Trump wishes he had that kind of online street cred.
And it reflects more on the media than it does on Simone Biles, is that we've tried to turn a very tragic moment, Simone Biles quitting the Olympic team, into this act of heroism. And I think it reflects pretty poorly on our sort of therapeutic society that we try to praise people not for moments of strength, not for moments of heroism, but for their weakest moments. And look,
that purportedly show him dressed as a drag queen. In the images, Vance is donning a blonde wig and a skirt while playing beer pong with his friends.
But wait, the circus isn't over yet. Stewart also pulls out Vance's greatest hits. Like that time JD went after Simone Biles for prioritizing her mental health, because apparently courage is only real if you're doing backflips for JD's approval. Oh, and there was that whole weird dolphin Google search moment. And the couch jokes? And yes, the photos of JD Vance in drag, which is hilarious considering how much he loves to yell about protecting traditional values. Stewart just sits there, grinning like he found a golden ticket.
The best way that I can explain what happened and show Americans how to process this new reality was with another shocking turn of events from this weekend.
On Saturday night at the Elimination Chamber, the WWE shocked the world as John Cena turned heel, joined The Rock, and attacked Cody Rhodes.
Now, let's talk about Vance playing cosplay diplomat in the White House. Remember that super awkward Oval Office meeting with Trump, Zelensky, and a whole lot of bad vibes? Stewart says it looked less like a summit and more like a WWE SmackDown. He even makes the brilliant call. It was like John Cena turning heel and suplexing Cody Rhodes to pledge allegiance to The Rock. Except The Rock is Putin now, and America is somehow the sidekick. Stewart's message is simple. JD Vance isn't just fumbling the football, he's running it into the wrong end zone and high-fiving dictators on the way. It's a betrayal wrapped in a MAGA flag, with a little extra cringe for flavor. And just when JD thought he could crawl back under his rock, Stewart flips open the next chapter. Economic populism. Or as John likes to call it, the biggest scam since diet ice cream. Vance loves to act like he's some working-class hero, a man of the people. You know, just a regular billionaire-backed venture capitalist living in a mansion who totally gets the little guy. Stewart tears it apart with the kind of smirk you get when you find out the free pizza is actually just cauliflower crust. On Stewart's podcast, they go for the jugular. They break down how the whole pro-worker act is basically a Halloween costume. Behind the cheap mask, anti-worker policies, anti-labor judges, and a big old middle finger to anyone who actually clocks into a job every day. Stewart's crew even name drops all the goodies from the Trump years. No minimum wage hikes, no overtime protections, nothing but red hats and broken promises. You see, Stewart often employs his signature tactic, letting the subject hang themselves with their own words. He'd juxtapose clips. Vance the Trump critic versus Vance the Trump loyalist, Vance the San Francisco venture capitalist versus Vance the anti-elite crusader.
On Easter Sunday, the day before his death, the Pope met with Vice President Just Dug the Pope's Grave Vance at the Vatican. Said Pope Francis, "Hey, I asked for the angel of death, not the angel of pit sweat."
It's a dead easy trick that Stewart pulls out to basically roast not just Vance's "oh, I'm so honest" act, but the whole dumb idea that politicians can just count on people forgetting stuff faster than they forget where they left their phone, and being so mad all the time they don't notice the giant U-turns. Stewart's sitting there like half horrified, half impressed, watching this brain gymnastic routine. The whole bet that as long as you're playing the latest angry song, nobody's gonna care you were singing the opposite yesterday. This little slap also swings over to Vance's genius-level public wisdom, and those prize-winning ideas he keeps dropping. Like, who could forget his poetic masterpiece about childless cat ladies?
We're effectively run in this country via the Democrats, via our corporate oligarchs, by a bunch of childless cat ladies who are miserable at their own lives and the choices that they've made, and so they want to make the rest of the country miserable too.
Stewart didn't just clown on the totally bonkers idea that somehow the world's falling apart because a bunch of ladies have cats and no babies. He made it clear it's part of a bigger mess, like the casual "let's blame women for fun" habit and pretending it's some deep cultural wisdom. He squeezed every last drop out of the outraged lemon, especially when Oprah swooped in to defend the American kitties ends, and that viral mic drop moment with Delegate Theresa Warman, who pretty much was Vance's punching bag but looked him dead in the eye and said, "Try harder, pal." For Stewart, this wasn't just some goofy slip-up. It was like Vance flashing a neon sign saying, "I totally don't get half the people I want to boss around." Similarly, Stewart apparently took a big bite out of Vance's hot take about Simone Biles needing a brain break. He didn't just call it dumb, he treated it like Exhibit A in a long, tragic museum of Vance doesn't get other humans. The Biles mess, the cat lady nonsense, the weird dolphin Googling rumors, the couch jokes. Stewart stacks all that junk together like a sad Jenga tower, showing off a guy who's dying to be taken seriously but keeps tripping over his own shoelaces and whining about it. One Daily Show segment even joked that after Vance hit the campaign trail, his mouth left more loaded guns lying around than his mama, tossing back to that gem Vance shared about Granny's secret armory. The punchline smacks hard because it basically says Vance is his own worst enemy, firing off words like he's got butter for brains and thinking he's some kind of speech wizard.
And his response was illuminating.
Why push something that's not true?
Well, first of all, city officials have not said it's not true. They've said they don't have all the evidence.
They said they have no evidence.
We've heard from a number of constituents on the ground, Caitlin, who both firsthand and secondhand reports saying this stuff is happening. So they very clearly, meaning the people on the ground dealing with this, think that it is happening. And I think that it's important for journalists to actually get on the ground and uncover this stuff for themselves.
Okay. I'm sorry. This is not my main takeaway from the story, but someone's cat went missing, so they called their senator.
Stewart didn't just roast the genius idea that the planet's problems are all because some ladies cuddle cats instead of popping out kids. He pointed straight at the bigger mess, like the lazy, let's blame chicks for everything move dressed up like it's some kind of smart people talk. He juiced the meltdown for every last squirt, especially when Oprah charged in like a superhero for the American Kitties ends. Plus that epic mic drop from Delegate Teresa Warman, who was supposed to be the punchline but pretty much flicked Vance away like a bug. For Stewart, this wasn't just some oopsie moment. It was like Vance threw up a giant blinking billboard saying, "Hey, I don't actually get the folks I'm trying to boss around." Similarly, Stewart didn't just roll his eyes at Vance's meltdown over Simone Biles needing a timeout for her brain. He treated it like Vance was starring in his own museum of doesn't understand other humans. And man, it's a big, dusty place. The Biles mess, the cat lady rants, the creepy dolphin searches, the couch jokes. Stewart lined them up like a bunch of wobbly shopping carts, just waiting to crash into each other. Vance comes off like a dude begging to sit at the cool kids' table, but keeps spilling ketchup all over himself. One Daily Show bit even roasted him, saying after Vance started campaigning, his mouth left more loaded guns lying around than his mama, throwing it right back. At that time, Vance bragged about Granny's mini army stash. The jab hits because it shows Vance is basically his own cartoon banana peel, slipping, sliding, face planting, and somehow still thinking he's pulling off ninja moves. If you enjoyed watching JD Vance get called out by Jon Stewart, you'll love to see our video on Stephen A. Smith calling Vance out for even more.